So on the day we discussed about the global variables, and now we are going to see about the environment variable. The environment variable is it is actually similar to global variable, and the main usage of having environment variable in our test script is to is mainly for setting up the environments as the name defines. That's the major use of having this variable. So how do we able to set the environment variable? We can able to see it. This is the Postman tool, as you all know that, and we can able to set the environment variable manually, and also we can able to set the environment variable dynamically. So we can see both the cases now. So how to set the environment? First of all, where it actually the environment places here. See, if I set no environment, and if I want to create the environment, we can have the option of adding it, so that we can able to add it like staging server, something like that. URL. So here we can able to set the variable manually, and through script also it is possible to set the environment variable. I'll just show. PM, as it refers postman dot environment dot set variable key. We can give it as URL. Okay. First name, son. Before that, we need to set the environment. Where we need to set the environment, right? What is the variable and where to set that environment? In particular UAT environment, I'm going to set the environment variable, right? I don't have any first name here. First name is available. We can create last name. I don't have any test here, so it is showing like there are no tests for this request, and it will show like the test is request is there only if we give the function name pm.test, something like that. As of now, we don't write any test here. Okay. See, the variable has been set here. Last name Sam, and also we can able to set this dynamically by getting the response. Before that, we need to write flow code here. Dot response dot JSON. We are just getting the response, and we are changing it to JSON as a JavaScript object. So this is a mandatory step in order to proceed further. And here JSON data dot last name. See, what I've did is right. Actually, this is like an in this particular data, we have some parameters. So in order to access this parameter, we need to mention the name here, list name here, data, JSON dot data dot last name. If I just click, if I just enter JSON dot last name, it cannot able to identify where the last name actually locates, because we have this much of columns, so it will not able to identify. In order to identify, we need to provide the exact path. So JSON data dot data dot last name, right? So that we can able to set the last name here. This is the way we can able to set the last environment variable here. And pre-request script. As I said earlier, pre-request script is nothing but if we want to do any operation, like if we want to do any, if we want to run any automation script before we need to open up the browser. So we normally in Selenium we used to write a before method, right? It is same like before method, and after method we will be closing the driver dot close. Actually, this is same like prerequest script. Before this test execute, this pre-request script will be executing here. I'll just show you up with some example, so that I just want to uh, generate the random data. Let's see with an example. Generating data. PM. One second. One second. Give me a second. Sorry for the delay. Actually, I need to reply for one message I got right now. So that's the issue.
No problem.
Yeah. So we're looking about environment variable, right? So the pre-request script, right? Before we start to execute anything here, we need to execute this pre-request script. This is nothing but an pre-request script. Okay, I'll just show you with an example. I'll just try to generate the random data so that we can. Here we can data and UAT. Okay, I'll just try it out whether it is working or not. Okay. See, we can able to I just assume that if we want to do any test here, we need some data. For that, we are actually setting up the data in prerequest script just by generating some test data. It's like an example. It is in float. You can also make it as integer. I think yes. See, we can see the random data 8023. If I click the second time, I can see different value. And if I'll try to execute this script here, now I can see that particular random data has been changed. It is, I mean to say that if I execute this script, before we execute this script, this prerequisite script will be executing. That is the concept here, right? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, fine. So that is the concept of prerequisite script. Okay, let's go to another topic. As we all know about the global variable, collection variable, environment variable, this is this actual scope. Say, for example, we have a global variable and we have set a variable name called Mike, and we have an environment variable and we have set a name called Jane. Now, by executing the script and by calling the variable name, the scope initially will go to environment variable. Then only it will go to global variable. I'll just show you with an example so that you can able to understand the difference between global variable and the environment variable here. Okay. We have last name. And we also going to a certain global variable. Just example. It is showing unresolved variable because we don't have any URL here, like the name of URL lowercase. See, actually we have set the environment here, and by mouse overing, it is actually showing the variable name from environment variable. I just set no environment. Now it is fetching the variable from global variable. Even though the global variable is present, if I set this for environment variable, it will pick it up from the environment variable, right? That is the difference between the global variable and the environment variable. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, Prasanna.
So, if you talk about global variables best practice, normally global variables, it is not that much recommended. We need to avoid using as much as possible, because if we use global variables everywhere, we cannot able to identify what is the variable name here. We will be getting confusion. What use and where to use that variable, where we have used it. In order to do that, we need to mention environment variable, right? And if we also use global variable, we need to remove it immediately. Okay. So we have a command to remove it, either global or environment variable. I'll just show you. Dot unset. See, the gender has been cleared from the environment variable. This is what the unset is used for. So before we start to write any global variable, it is the best practice to clear the variable then and there. So it would be helpful. It will not create any garbages. So we need to clear up the garbages. So mostly the best practice is to use the environment variable. So actually, it is a good alternative for a global variable. Okay. So I'll just show you the environment variable and when to use those kind of stuffs. Here we can able to create the environment variables as we already discussed here. So the actual purpose you'll be getting to know now. Say for example, just assume this is the server, this is my local server, this is the API. I'm just using this local host. Suddenly my QLID is coming and we want to execute the same API URLs in QA environment. At that time, we have around 500 to 600 test cases. Now at the time, what we have to do, we need to change the URL to a dev environment. but that is not a good practice. For this, we have a feature called environment variable. That is the purpose of using environment variable. In that case, we can able to use that. I'll just show you. We have the UIT environment. Slash. Okay. And I'm trying to have it the same URL in the local host. This is the URL for a UIT environment. Okay. Now, if you want to use it in multiple test cases, it is very easy. You have to set it as a local environment here. And the variables can be called by curly braces. See, I can see HTTP localhost. And if I want to execute the same in a UAT environment, simple. We need to switch to UAT environment. And by mouse hovering, we can able to execute the same script in UAT environment. So in this way, if we split it up, we can able to execute our scripts like a framework manner, so that we can able to achieve and we can able to execute our test cases in multiple environments. Like will be executing the same script in local environment, QA environment, something like that, UAT environment. So that is the main purpose of using environment variable here, and the scope of the environment variable will be in this area only, and this URL cannot be called in that particular environment. So that is the main advantage of using environment variable. And if we create any global variable, it can be called from any of the collections here. And now we are going to see about the collection variables. Collection variables are nothing but it is actually it is not that much recommended, and it is tied to a collection. It is tied to a collection in the sense this is called collection, right? And it is tied to a collection. I'll just show you where the variable exactly lies here. This is the collection variable, and the scope will actually ends up here. And mostly we won't be using the collection variable because it is actually tied to a particular collection, and we cannot able to call this variable in this collection. So that is the major disadvantage. That is not a disadvantage, that is the actual scope of the collection variable. And if we want to store some constants at that time, we can use this collection variable. And I've already shown about the URLs present and how to call that URLs. And this is one of the important concept about the response body. We have around four different types of responses we'll be getting, like JSON, XML, HTML, and text. And if you want to, because we cannot able to write the automation script directly, we need to pass. Pass is nothing but we need to convert it to JavaScript object. In order to convert it to JavaScript object, we will be having some scripts, so that it would be very helpful, so that we can able to write our automation script and we can able to extract the data based on our requirements. So the main important passing command is like pm postman dot response dot json. By this we can able to convert this and we can able to make it as a JavaScript object. And one of the important formatting is like XML, and the command which is used to convert from XML to JSON is like XML to JSON response body. In this way, we can able to convert the XML data into JSON JavaScript object, and we can able to filter it and we can able to work it out. So that is the main concept of passing the response body. And the HTML, we have a feature to convert the HTML, so that the command which is used here is Cheerio. It is like a built-in library which is available in Postman. By using this Cheerio, we can able to convert it, right? And text, we will be getting some as a plain text, so that we can, the plain text also we need to pass by using pm.response.text. And apart from this, I have some other things to tell you. On the day itself, some of them asked me about the command syntax which is available. We can able to see it in Chai assertion library. We have a Chai assertion library. Through this, we can able to see as many commands. And if you want to have a good knowledge in assertions, we have to use this URL. We can able to get as much data here. See, to that used to be is that it is the main concept of using Chai assertion library is like it is like an COBOL language. By seeing the syntax, we can able to identify, okay, this is used this is used to assert the status, and this is used to assert the string, something like that. I'll just show you an example. See, it's a simple test which is used to search the string, right? pm.text. This is the by seeing this, we can able to identify the test what they are doing it, and this is the function as we already discussed, and we are just getting the response here, and we are actually searching it. I'll just do one thing. Actually, it is not matching the string, so it is throwing an error because so that's what it is throwing an error. So in order to make this success, we can do like see the body actually matches the string. Body in the sense this body, we have a string called Janet, and we can able to search it here in the response body, and we can able to work it out easily. In this way, we have this is one of the major uh, snippet tool which is used. Actually, by seeing this snippets, we can able to grab as much as idea, and we can able to go in depth by working on this snippets. So we have so many snippets which is useful. Like this is used for converting the JSON to XML body to a JSON object, and this is used to verify the body string whether the particular body is correct or not, so that we can able to identify whether this is going good or not. We can able to verify those things here. And also I want to explain you one more thing, like the console. The major role of console is like, I'll just show you an example so that the response what we are getting is this. So I want to identify whether this email is storing in the particular environment by seeing the console. Here, actually, the console is present in the lower bar, so that by clicking it, it will be popping up, and we can have the option to search it, and we have the option to clear it, and also we can able to see all kinds of logs here, like info, warning, error, everything is available here, so that we can able to filter it based upon our requirement. So if we get any warning, if we want to see any warning, we can able to see, and if we want to see only the error message, we can able to filter it. So that is the main purpose of using console. I'll just clear it. So that is the actual usage of console here. Apart from that, we will see how to execute the complete set of collections in our next class, and also we will look it out how to integrate with the Newman tool. Actually, Newman is a tool which is used for, it is same like a Jenkins, so that we can able to integrate it and we can able to execute our scripts using that CI/CD tool. From that, I don't have anything to say, so we can end up this session and we can able to see it in our next session. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Prasanna.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Prasanna.
Yeah, thank you. Can you please? Yes, sir.
5 minutes time இருக்குமா பிரச்சனை இல்ல வேலை இருக்கு
சார் சொல்லுங்க சார், இங்க ஆபீஸ்ல பிங்
ஓகே
பண்ணிட்டேன்.
ஓகே ஓகே நம்ம அப்புறம் பேசலாம் ஓகே
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Prasanna.
Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you, Prasanna.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bye.